Welcome into TNT Sports College Basketball Postgame Show. I'm Tim Doyle alongside Seth Davis, Greg Anthony, Dallin Cuff. Just watched Creighton win by 21 points, and guess who's joining us? Greg McDermott is in Omaha. Greg, Tim Doyle here. You're at practice every day, so you know what this team could become. What do you see the future of this team's identity being?
Well, hopefully a little bit more defense than what we saw tonight. Obviously we're still adjusting to life without Jackson McAndrew, and then you throw in Hudson Greer's injury, that just happened yesterday. So we've got some guys in some unfamiliar spots, and, the way we're connected defensively just isn't where it needs to be. Having said that, the ball moved tonight. We had some good looks at threes, and we knocked them down.
What's up, Coach Mack? It's Dallin Cuff here in studio. You just mentioned the defensive side of it. You said you weren't as connected as you need to be. Beyond that, what needs to happen for this team to improve defensively to get where you guys want to get to, which is March playing in the dance?
Yeah, we've got to keep that basketball out of the paint, and we've been accustomed to having Kalkbrenner back there for 5 years, so he erased a lot of mistakes, and now we're making mistakes, and the help is late, and we just have to get better on that end of the floor, and I think we can, and obviously we're going to work hard to make sure it happens.
Coach, Greg Anthony here. Congrats as well. You talked about the fact that the defense isn't where it wanted to be, but really your offense had its struggles up until tonight. Do you feel like if you can get the offense clicking, maybe that gives you a better chance to defend?
Yeah, no question. And, we're still pretty efficient in transition, but, obviously if you're taking the ball out of net, you're not getting into transition. So, I've felt all along like this team has a chance to be a very good offensive team. We've shot it better in practice than we have in games, and it was good to see some go in tonight. I think that's going to be good for a lot of guys' confidence. But we're going to have to play both ends. Our schedule gets much more difficult now, going to Nebraska and then K-State next week before we jump into Big East play.
Greg, Seth Davis, congrats on the win. You took me where I wanted to go. Big game on Sunday at Nebraska. Pretty important game in those parts. What's it going to take to win that one?
Yeah, obviously, they're shooting the ball at a very high clip, and they're moving the basketball, at a very high level. And Fred's done a great job, I think, constructing that roster, to play off Mask. I think he does a great job making other guys better, and obviously you have to pay a lot of attention to him. But, They're playing great basketball right now. It's a very important game in this state. You're kind of a Nebraska fan or a Creighton fan from a basketball standpoint. There's not many people riding the fence in that regard. So they came in here and got us last year, and obviously it's an important game, not just because of the in-state rivalry. It's going to be a quad one game, and we've lost out on some opportunities for quad one wins, and we've got to try to stack some of those up.
Well, good luck this weekend. It's 10:05 p.m. in Omaha. Can you get a steak right now if you really wanted one?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if you give up 76 points in your home court if you deserve a steak, but I'll have something to quench my thirst, that's for sure.
We appreciate you joining here. Good luck the rest of the season. Thanks, Coach.
Pour a little out for us,
Thanks,
Coach.
Guys.
Yeah, Coach and I, we ran into each other, and I think I had one too many, and I was telling a couple old war stories. He gets a win.
That doesn't seem like you.
It seems like suffering for him.
They've had some injuries. Kalkbrenner, I think he's still trying to figure this team out. But tonight, Greg, they made shots and they look good.
They made shots. I thought they passed the ball much better. I thought they played with more purpose on offense. Now, granted, it's Nicholls, and you would like to have an opportunity to make those adjustments and improvements. And I thought they did that tonight, guys. I thought the ball movement and the spacing, they played more for one another. And that's something that at times you get teams that try to self-will it, Dallin, and I thought there have been stretches this season where that's been the case for Creighton. Not so tonight.
Especially in some of the bigger games. When they're playing some high-level opponents, they're trying to find a way. There are times guys try to take the matter into their own hands. Now, as he mentioned, no Jackson McAndrew all season. They know that, so they have to live with it, figure that out. Hudson Greer missed tonight's game. We'll see how he gets back. The kid to take as freshman to take his red shirt off to help this team. He's capable of a lot offensively. But again, defensively, as we know with most freshmen, usually a step behind. So that's going to be the challenge. He said it right there. He joked about the 76 points and not getting a steak. Nicholls shot 58% in the second half. That team has to figure out how to defend the ball, how to rotate, how to be connected, as he alluded to. Otherwise, it's going to be a night where every night, you got to make shots and you have to outscore teams And that's really hard to do.
Really hard to do over the course of the season. You're traveling, guys are going to get the flu, sprained ankle, things are going to happen. And it's certainly not going to be enough on Sunday. I mean, you are not going to go into Pinnacle Bank Arena, play a tough physical team like Nebraska, have to deal with a big-time problem physically and skill-wise in Rick Mast and win that game. You got to be tough. You got to defend. You got to own the glass. You got to win 50-50 balls. Those are characteristics that they haven't shown enough of, but Sunday's a great opportunity for them to break out of it and show us what they're made of.
And we all thought this was going to be the third best team in the Big East, right? I mean,
everybody did.
Everyone did, right? It was like St. John's, UConn, St. John's, and then Creighton. You just kind of slide them in. They're not the third best team in the Big East. Is that a consensus feeling up here?
I don't know. I think it's kind of muddled. I mean, I think someone who's going to think they're going to be the third best team in the league, that's a lot more about the front of the jersey. I mean, they've lost some significant talent.
Right.
And he made a great point. Ryan Kalkbrenner was there for 5 years because of the COVID year. And so you're almost finding out, boy, we really made a lot of mistakes at the defensive end because he erased all of them. I mean, he was a great elite, one of the best defensive centers in the history of college basketball. And that's a big time adjustment. You just can't bomb away from three and think you're going to beat good teams on the road night after night for 4 months.
Yeah, and I think that's a great point. And again, a lot of times you get all these prognosticators saying what teams you don't know when you have so much turnover on these rosters. Like until you get guys in there and see how they fit, how the chemistry meshes, you don't know. I think we saw that in our first game with Butler. Like no one had Butler being one of the better teams. And they've looked really good here early in the season. They've got great improvement. They brought in some Ajayi's been terrific for them as well. So it's hard to say. One thing you can say that this has not been as strong a preseason for the Big East as they would have liked. And so it's not really I'm not really sure who is going to eventually rise to the top. Marquette might still surprise some people with how poorly they looked here early on, but I still have faith that they're going to turn it around.
I think before the season we were saying after Creighton, after the third team, we thought, then there was questions. Is it Marquette, Providence, Georgetown? You could kind of look around and guess who it might be. Now it's just from 3 down. We don't know who the third best team is. It's the same conversation. Any one of these teams can be right there. Creighton is further from UConn and St. John's. It is UConn, it is St. John's, and then everybody else. But not UConn and St. John's. St. John's is not on the same level the Huskies are on right now.
No, the huge December coming up for the conference. We showed you some of the big non-conference games. This is how you build your resume. Resume game for UConn. They went natural road game to Allen Fieldhouse, and they got their swag back. It helps when you play Nicholls, who hasn't won a game all year. Everybody wants to play Nicholls.
Hey, man, everybody wants a get-right game. That's okay.
No doubt. But you love this game, Seth. UConn on a natural road game.
Oh, man, I love it. On the campus. Look out below.
Cole Rosario, freshman.
Yeah,
he's been good. He's built like a linebacker. Really good defender. But this freshman, Braylon Mullen, just kind of stole the show. Second college game, Seth, we were talking about an offset. He's got double digits and playing big.
Yeah, there's Dunga down low with the massive dunk. He had 9 points, 9 rebounds, and 2 blocks. Halftime, Kansas is up 4, but then UConn stole a ball, buries the 3, and right now UConn's looking to close it out. This would be an enormous win for UConn. It would be an enormous win for the conference. It would add to everybody else's resume. Obviously, no Peterson for Kansas, but UConn was banged up. They didn't have Reed. This is an enormous win.
It is, and I think to what Dallin was saying, you can see with UConn. I mean, they have such great balance. Mm-hmm. They compete on both sides of the ball. Danny Hurley continues to impress with how he's able to just retool year after year. This team is looking like one that could get to the Final Four.
This year's team, just like the team that won a championship twice, is built on defense. Just like every one of Danny Hurley's teams that have been successful, they are good defensively. He was harping on that early in the year, particularly with the guards. Silas Demery Jr., transfer from Georgia. Malachi Smith, transfer from Dayton. Those guys have elevated their game. He's going to demand just as much as Mullins. He is demanding a level of excellence defensively, and that's why they have not played particularly well in this game. But they're up on the road in Kansas late because they've defended, and now Kansas without Peterson, they're taking away what they want to do. They're making them take a lot of tough twos. They're rebounding the basketball, and they've controlled the second half.
One of my favorite basketball quotes is from Jeff Van Gundy. It says, if you want your guys to play hard, get hard playing guys. And I think what Dan Hurley learned last year with some of the decisions that he made specifically with the transfer portal is that he needs players that fit his personality and his style of play, especially on the defensive end. Mm-hmm. These guys are dogs. For them, I know Kansas doesn't have Darren Peterson, but they've been playing good basketball, and they've been playing for a while without him. Yeah. For them to go into Allen Fieldhouse without their starting center, Terrace Reed. Braylon Mullen's supposed to be on a minutes restriction. He's only played 21 minutes. He's got 15 points. It's his second college game in Allen Fieldhouse. They still have to finish this off, but I've seen enough. UConn is very, very good.
Yep.
Well, and you think about DC, to your point, how they're winning these games. Right now, it looks like Kansas isn't going to get to 60. Right? And look what they did to Illinois. They locked them up, 61 points. They lose to Arizona, but that's a game where Arizona barely cracks past 70. So they're winning it with their defense, to your point.
Yeah, that's what they have to do. Now, they can – Solo Ball is a guy that needs to shoot the ball better. And when he does, they'll be better offensively. Mullins gives them – he's their best pure shooter, and he's coming back at 15 right now, as we mentioned before. They have guys offensively that'll play at a higher level, but as long as that defense is there, they're right there in every game.
It's always nice when you grow up in a house where your dad's a Hall of Fame high school coach. Did he learn some plays from his dad?
All he wanted to do was guard the hell out of you.
And by the way, when he wasn't coaching, he was a parole officer in the local police department.
I know. We're talking about one of the greatest coaches of all time. Tons of undefeated teams out there. Purdue on the road. Their point guard, Braden Smith, dropping dimes. They're in Jersey tonight. Gym, tan, laundry next.